All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday, March 18th. This is Chris and Mark with the NWA Exchange Podcast, the only podcast you need to know for everything Bella Vista and beyond. Hope you guys had a great week. We're going to go ahead and get right into this stuff.
How's it going, Chris?
Hey, Mark, how's it going, man?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in there as usual.
Yeah, happy Friday, man.
Happy
Good
Friday,
weekend, right?
happy belated St. Patty's Day. Did you get out and get any green beer?
No, I didn't, man. First time in a long time it's been. But how about yourself?
No, I didn't make it out either. I just we did a little kind of cooked was it bratwurst and potatoes and onions and
cool.
Dutch oven out on the smoker. It was pretty good.
Awesome. Well, we got a lot of stuff going on this week and this weekend in Northwest Arkansas. We'll get into it right now. We got the 5K, 10K Irish run on March 19th, Saturday in Bentonville Community Center. So we get a good opportunity to get out there and get those sneakers on and get running. 7:30 a.m. So Saturday morning, again, in Bentonville Community Center. So I tell you what, I don't know if I could even do a 5K right now, Chris, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm out of shape, man. This whole 2-year COVID thing just kind of did it to me, man.
Yeah, I've affectionately named my COVID belly Bob. So
So that's where we're at with that. We got a couple of bird events out there too, Chris. I know a lot of people like bird watchers and all those photographers out there. So we have a few events. And I don't know if you've been over to Compton Gardens over there in Bentonville.
Yeah, it's a cute little place. We go over there in the springtime. The flowers are just amazing.
Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful over there. So they have a introduction with young kids to birds. It's called Littles with Birds. So it's tomorrow, Compton Gardens, age groups 4 to 9, and it's from 10 to 11:30 a.m. So $10 for admission. Okay. And the other bird event is out in Crystal Bridges. It's a 2-day event, Nature Weekend with Birds, which is pretty cool. Tomorrow from 11 to 4, and Sunday we'll be running from 1 to 4, and that's at Crystal Bridges. So
Crystal Bridges has been stepping up doing a lot of community things. I mean, like, or maybe we're just noticing it more, but I like what they're doing. They're bringing in a lot of events that families can get out and enjoy, and I like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. We get out there a lot, hit the trails, and they have a lot of art events and what have you. So here's your favorite. I got your favorite right for you. Just hold on. It's the 6th annual Bayou Bass Crawfish Festival.
Oh man, I know
you've been waiting for this. You've been waiting for this one. So it's happening Friday, April 8th from 3 to 6:30 p.m. It's in the Meteor Guitar Gallery in Bentonville. So
okay,
that's over on 128 West Central Ave. So
right on the corner, right? Like across from was it Fat Tire? I think.
Yeah, it's down in that neck of the woods. So the tickets are $25 if you have a chamber member ticket. A non-member would be $35. They have like a ticket pack if you get a whole clan of people you want to go with. A 10-pack for $200. So then they got a crawfish boil to go, which is pretty cool. $20. They give you crawfish boil, fried catfish, and jambalaya. You can come by at any time to pick it up. So that's pretty cool. If you can't make the event,
Bob hungry over here, man.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. So it's a good event to go check out. So that's pretty awesome.
I love me some crawfish, man. Like it's good stuff.
Yeah. And you know what? Like I said, if you can't make it out there, you can always do a meal to go.
Yeah.
Just reach out to them and they can put it together for you. So the other thing we got going on Saturday here in Bella Vista at 11 a.m. is the Veterans Council. We're holding the Wall of Honor groundbreaking ceremony, which is pretty cool. So your friend there is doing the brief comments. Lieutenant Colonel Jim Parsons, Jim Parsons,
Yeah.
will be there, along with the Veterans Council President Roger Armstrong and U.S. Senator John Boozman. We haven't
All
seen him in a
right.
while, Chris.
It must be an election year. I mean, like, it's like he kind of pops up during an election year and then whoop slides out a little bit. You know, I
Yeah,
just
man.
you don't really hear very much of what he's doing. You know.
No, you don't. It's like the groundhog, man. So
Well, Punxsutawney Phil or something like that.
yeah. Every year that thing goes on, man. It just drives me nuts. Did he see his shadow? He didn't see his shadow. I'm just looking at him and put him on a spit, man. Let's get this done.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's funny.
He looks like he'll eat pretty good, man. He's pretty big.
Oh yeah.
So.
Didn't they have one die this year? I think there was one that just he fell out, man. I mean, like, he died.
I can't even watch it. They get in those suits, and I mean, it's a whole thing. I mean, I think it's just another opportunity to drink out in the woods. To be honest with
you. Yeah, probably. Probably.
So the other thing we got, and I talk about this, and the community does a lot of stuff of cleanup and pickups and stuff. And I know there's a lot of people out here that donate their time, and I know you're appreciative, and I'm appreciative of that. I see them all the time on 71. So that's pretty cool. So they have an event. It's called 6 in 60 event, city cleanups, taking place March 26th at 10 a.m. They're going to meet at Allen's supermarket. So Allen's is over in Sugar Creek Plaza, right there on 71. If you're heading north on the right side. So it's going to be a whole 6 miles to get there. They'll coordinate efforts with you. Your coffee shop is giving out coffee to the workers there. Java Dudes.
Oh man, I miss Java Dude. I miss him.
Yep.
That's awesome,
Java
man.
Dudes is going to be giving coffee out, and I'm sure people will be grateful for that. Hopefully, they'll have good weather and not rain, and it'll be a good event. But again, we really appreciate everything they do, and so not only that, when they finish up there with that 6 miles, they're going to have some brats, courtesy of Steve Morrow, the owner of Allen's Markets. Some Allen's Markets down there in Sugar Creek Plaza. There, he does a great job down there. So
Java Dudes is going to get everybody wired and hopped up to go out and pick up trash, and then Steve's going to feed them afterwards. That's awesome, man.
That's how it's all going to go down, man.
Yeah.
So it should be an awesome event, and we're looking forward to it. So
that's one thing I like about a lot of these groups, breaking off and doing these things that, area beautification in our community, and it doesn't really take that much time if you got an organized group of people to just show up and execute and move along. That's an awesome initiative.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, I see them a lot. On 71. So awesome job, and we really appreciate it. And these guys are just volunteering their time, and so that's good. That's good stuff there. Yeah. So we have you want to roll in to our guest, or do you want me to hit a couple more things locally? Or
let's go take a quick time check. Yeah, I think we probably got a room for a couple more. If you've got a couple more events happening this weekend.
Yeah, so I got the Trail Cat Challenge. It's a scavenger hunt. It'll take you through the neighborhood streets in Bentonville. It's taking place Saturday, March 19th at 10 a.m. Location of it's going to be Tucker's Corner in downtown Bentonville. So that's on 202 East Central Avenue. So it looks like a pretty cool event for kids and adults, and $40 for a team of 4, $10 per solo run. So there's a whole bunch of things going on during the day there. So at 9 o'clock, they'll have the doors will open between 9 and 10, and from 10 to 3, the scavenger hunt will actually take place. And 2:30 to 5 will be a wrap-up party and what have you, where there'll be food and there'll be games and prizes. So it sounds like something pretty good to check out. Family can go, or friends, and whoever else wants to do that. So it should be pretty neat. So we're looking forward to that. So who do we have on tap tonight to come in?
So we have our City Councilman Jerry Snow, who's going to be joining us for an interview tonight. I'm excited. We had just mentioned him last week when we were talking about some of the city council initiatives during that input session for short-term rentals and stuff, and how I talked with him. And I'm thankful that he's willing to come on and talk with us and converse with us. And he's done. I think he's done a great job since he's been in the position, and he's supportive of keeping the community educated and seeking input from the community. So we're going to take a quick break and verify everything's good with Jerry, and then we'll be right back with the interview.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back, y'all. All right, we're back from that quick break, and we've got our good friend Jerry Snow here. How's it going, Jerry?
Hey, it's going great. I've got to tell you before we get started, I'm a bit offended at your comments about my good friend Senator Bozeman. And I'm really just disturbed that you didn't differentiate when you went from Senator Bozeman into Pakistani Phil. I mean, there wasn't a differentiate there. You didn't give enough spread there to between the two.
Jerry, we've got a weird sense of humor.
Oh, okay. Oh, jeez.
So, Jerry, you've been how long have you been a city council member? I know you were recently elected within the past year and a half.
I'm on the second year of my 4-year term. Prior to that, and of course, 4-year terms were enacted after my first being elected to city council. I was first appointed to the city council to take the place of the councilman. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name at the moment, but that was killed in a motorcycle accident. If you remember that.
Was that it wasn't Wozniak, was it?
Oh no, Wozniak's a little bit on the dead side anyway, but he's still with but no, gosh, I can't think of his name now.
I'm trying to think. Yeah.
His wife was she was a lieutenant with the police department. He was retired from, I believe, from one of the Texas law enforcement agencies, and gosh, I can't, as I said, can't think of his name. That's terrible. I can't think of his name. Anyway, I was appointed to take his place, and then I I ran for 2 more terms, and then I chose not to run because of some health issues. And as you're aware, I've had a couple of spine surgeries in the
Mm-hmm.
past 2 years. I've had a couple of spine surgeries that pretty much um, kind of incapacitated me there for a while. But then I was appointed by the governor to a term on the quorum court to represent a newly elected quorum court member that had just moved out of the district, Joel Jones. And so I was appointed to take his place and served 2 years there on the quorum court, and got me interested in getting back into the politics again. So I ran for the council seat, and of course, and won. And so here I am.
Well, we're glad to have you on, and glad and appreciate all your public service that you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate it coming on tonight and answering some topics. We got a lot of topics here to talk about. Chris, you want me to lead into a few things and we can go?
Yeah. During the break, we did play some video footage of some construction projects that are ongoing in Bella Vista, and I think Mark might have some questions regarding those.
Yeah, if you want to discuss a little bit about the bridge over on 340 there in Lancashire and what's going on there, and what's being done and with the rerouting of traffic, and we'd like to hear a little bit more about that.
Than I do, because that, of course, that's a state highway department project.
Yep, understand.
And the state highway department doesn't always inform or consult the city on what they're doing or how they're doing it, but it appears kind of to the traveling eye there that they're going to straighten out that curve. They're obviously putting in a new bridge, like maybe a couple of new bridges there, and they're straightening out that first curve, and so that it's would no longer be that big S curve there. That's kind of what it would appear to be happening.
Okay, understand. How about the COVID relief funds? You had that special session going on. Want to know a little bit more detail about that. Could you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes, sure. We agreed, or we voted. It won't come up for a final vote until this coming Monday night's. I'm sorry. This coming Monday night's council session. I'm sorry, this coming Monday night's work session, and then it won't come up for a vote until the following Monday night's council session. The special meeting kind of got me confused there on the meeting and the actual work session. But anyway, we discussed, and we'll discuss the actual resolutions, but there will be a resolution to spend or to add $1.5 million to our street fund. We had budgeted $2.5 million to pave 59 miles of streets this coming season, this coming paving season. And of course, there's been such an increase in the cost of paving materials. Would you believe a 35% increase? That we had to add $1.5 million to that budget in order to just stay even.
Wow.
Can't add any more miles to that 59, but again, just to stay even, we had to add $1.5 million to that. We had to add some extra funds. I know Chris and I discussed this earlier, and he had been looking at a location over on what is it, Chelsea, and I can't remember the cross street.
Topham or something like that. It was Chelsea and Topham.
Yeah, and that was the original site for the fire department training center, and of course that fire department training center, let me say, is going to be, I think, a welcome addition to the city and to our fire department, in that it should help reduce the rating, the city's fire rating, and hopefully will reduce the cost of insurance, homeowner insurance, for the people in Bella Vista. And on top of that, that fire department training center will be available to other fire departments in the county. Surrounding fire departments will be able for them to use and train, as well as the all the rural fire departments. It'll be, I think, a big assistance to the fire departments in the area. But we had to appropriate additional money. Believe it was $200,000 we had to appropriate to handle the cost of the new location of the fire department training center, which is going to be out on Highway 7 west, right at the Missouri line. There is some property there that's between the Missouri line and the animal shelter.
Okay. Yeah.
The city is acquiring property back there to build this training center on it. And let's see, what else did we?
Was that Cooper property over there that you're referring to?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Hey, where can you go in Bella Vista
Without Cooper?
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. So prior to that, where were they training? Were they down in Bentonville, or what? Or were they not doing it? I mean,
No, let's see. I'm not sure.
yeah.
Mark, does Springdale maybe have a training?
Yeah, I think they were going out to Springdale, if I remember reading that article. It was a while back. That's what kind of prompted me to go out and look at that property that they had previously selected. Which, you know, it sounds like somebody's making a common sense solution by moving it, because there's residential properties up the hill from where they were originally going to do it. And I saw that and I thought it was a little concerning if they were going to build it there, Jerry.
So is it going to be, so I understand that, so they have like controlled burns and what have you there, Chris, and is there going to be actual infrastructure, buildings and storage and I mean, vehicles, or is it just going to be an area where you're going to do training where you're like, you do controlled burns on makeshift houses or something like that, or cars, or is that how that's going to happen? Or
Well, I'm sorry, I think you were asking Chris the question, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to butt in there.
No, actually, yeah, that question was for you. Is it you doing controlled burns? Is that what that's all about?
There is I think they refer to it as a smoke tower.
Okay.
There will be a tower there, a tower-like structure that they can fill with smoke. And then the firemen they will be able to train and practice on using a breathing apparatus as well as entering a smoke-filled building.
Okay.
So again, a couple of, and I'm sure there's some other areas there that I'm not that familiar with fire department training, but as I said, when this new facility is enacted, I will certainly try to become more familiar with it. But
right.
And let me say, I think we have got probably one of the better fire departments in Northwest Arkansas. I mean, we have a fire chief that is just an outstanding individual, a good leader, good department, and if you remember, the fire department was very instrumental in the COVID vaccine program. I mean, they offered a lot of participated or a lot of clinics in giving shots to people that wanted the COVID shots. But
yeah, I did see that. I saw a lot of that on Facebook, and certain areas that were having people that wanted shots. They were out there in the community doing that. So, yeah. Which is great. Hey, I want to go back to what you said about the insurance, because they just recently opened up just got finished building that other fire department on the west side. I think a lot of people don't understand the premiums, insurance, and what happens with that when you don't have the infrastructure. I mean, it's quite costly, right?
Well, yes, and having the fire department within a certain distance of your locale will reduce your rating, so that your insurance should take a reduction. I mean, you being in the home sales and in the real estate business, you may have a little bit better understanding there
Yeah, so we got what, 34,000 people you figure in Bella Vista. So do you think the infrastructure right now where it is with the new fire department, do we have enough fire departments are different? There's what, three, right? Is it three? Is there three fire departments in Bella Vista?
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
three. There's the new one out towards Branchwood, right?
Yeah, there's the fourth one is I think in the final finishing stages.
Okay. Okay. So we should have enough. I mean, obviously, the way we're growing, we're going to need it, right? So we need that
Well,
infrastructure.
I think we're going to need at least maybe one or two more, especially one on the south side, the somewhere off in that Chelsea area,
Okay.
where Chelsea makes that big loop around.
Right.
There's
Right.
there is basically the coverage in that area would be from the main station, really, from there in town center. That would be the coverage.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I think there is a need, and as you said, as the growth continues, there's a need for a couple more stations.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a challenge. I mean, they have a challenge just navigating, the way the Bella Vista is laid out. I mean, you can go on a 30-mile ride and not go down the same street, twice, and have different scenery just within Bella Vista. And we got a like over here, Janet Hoffner. Hi, Janet Hoffner. Thanks for liking the stream.
Janet.
But they do have challenges. I mean, because of how spread out we are, and then the way that the roads are. It takes some time to get from one side of Bella Vista to the other side. And so, they do have to kind of strategically place them to where they have an acceptable response time anywhere in the city.
Well, those heavy fire trucks don't move real fast on curvy roads.
No, they don't.
Can you imagine though? I mean, it's dangerous. I mean, it's dangerous driving a regular truck through there. I can't begin to imagine a pumper coming through there, man. That's crazy, But good stuff. Another question. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And as you were pointing out, Chris, yes, I think, and that's one of the things that we're looking at spending some of this. I like to I want to refer to it as free money, but there is no such thing as free money. I mean, but I mean that's we got it without having to apply for it or without having to submit any kind of a grant for it. We got it under this rescue plan, but anyway, there is some money there that's to be appropriated for the location for that fire station number 5.
Yeah, and we need the money for infrastructure, right? So at the end of the day, I think it's a good spend. The other topic we were talking about, me and Chris went into it pretty heavy last week, is short-term rentals. I know we had input sessions and what have you, and me personally, I think there's a need for them here. I got mixed feelings as far as the regulation goes, licensing or permits, who has these rentals, what have you. But I know we don't have the hotels and motels, and my thought process is, we want to keep the revenue and the people that come into Bella Vista, and visiting family or friends that want to use these places, and enjoy themselves, and not have to go down to Bentonville or some other area and spend their money at a hotel there instead of staying here. So I think I don't know how you feel about that. I think we need to know at some point who owns these properties. If there's issues with them, then we can address them directly with them. I know there's a few of those short terms, Airbnbs you call them, or VRBOs that people rent them out. We don't quite know who's coming in and who's coming out, and some people just have bad intentions and are getting these areas, and residents that are living there full time have cars piling up at the end of the street, and you know what I'm talking about. So just want to know what your thoughts were with that. And I know that we have a long way to go with it, and I'm sure you've seen some of the input, right?
Well, yes and no. Of course, the councilman that is authoring that that piece of legislation, of course, is Doug Fowler. Doug's a very good councilman, a very detail oriented. I mean, Doug knows his numbers and does his research, and a perfect councilman to be handling this piece of legislation. But and I know one of the individuals at the public input session a few nights ago, he made a statement that I really, hadn't thought about, and that was that we have to strike a delicate balance here in that these Airbnbs are necessary, or that we need them in order, because of we don't have a hotel motel.
Yeah,
we
for sure.
we need them to be able to provide lodging in Bella Vista.
Yeah.
And people, on top of that, people seem to like them more than they do your traditional hotel motel.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with you.
And we got to strike a delicate balance there, in that we don't become so restrictive that they can't operate, or they don't want to operate, and as well as maintain some type of regulation or some type of guidance over them, some kind of control over them.
Yeah.
Whenever, and the licensing, I mean, that is probably be a big issue with some people, and that, again, we're exercising government control is a big issue now.
Yeah,
that's one thing you hear: government control.
Yeah,
and
sure.
we have maybe we're exercising too much government control. But I don't know how you keep that is government, and you have to control certain aspects of what's happening within your boundaries, within your government boundaries. And in order to be able to do that, then there's got to be a lasting feature. Now, whether I guess there's going to be, a determine how much that fee is going to be, what's going to be excessive, what's not going to. There's whatever it is, it's going to be too excessive for some.
Right.
But then on the other side of that, Mark, being in the real estate business, you probably know that we have people, out-of-state investors, who are buying properties in Bella Vista solely for the purpose of it being an Airbnb.
Yeah.
And they have no ties to the community. They're not. Some would get the impression they have no concern about the maintenance or how their property is maintained. They have bought this property strictly as an income opportunity.
Sure.
Income opportunity, tax advantage.
Right.
And
right.
Again, no interest in how the property is maintained.
Right.
And
yeah, that's a problem. I could see yeah.
That's a problem. Then, of course, you got the parking issues. You got the number of occupants in the house.
Right.
If it's on a septic system, is the septic system large enough to handle a large number of occupants? Let's say if it's a 3-bedroom house, and I know probably a feature of this legislation will be a limit on the number of people that can occupy a location.
Right.
For instance, you got a 3-bedroom house, then is the number going to be 6? You can't have more than 6 people in the house.
Correct. Yep.
If that's a 3-bedroom house has a 3-bedroom septic system, if you consistently occupy that house with 20 people, you and I both know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're going to have one heck of a smelly situation on your hands. That's for sure.
I mean, right. So there's got to be some guidance there.
Yeah.
Secondly,
so, Jerry, I don't want to cut you off, but also, one of the things we discussed last week was like, if you're in a townhome, wouldn't you think that there should be some type of covenants that are specific to the townhome association where they could adopt some common sense policy within the reason of their own covenants to basically say, if this isn't your primary residence, then subletting, is not available, or you're not allowed to do that. And then one more thing I want to throw out there: you're a POA member, correct? I mean, if you live in Bella Vista, you're paying the POA dues and all that. But some of these short-term rentals are actually upcharging for guest passes to use the amenities. And they're charging like, I think we looked at a website, it was like $15 per additional person to get a guest pass to go use the amenities. So are they kind of subletting a property owner's like benefit? I guess where I'm going, like, something that you as a property owner are entitled to use because you pay the dues. You have skin in the game with the POA, but we're not a property renters association. Does that kind of make sense?
Are you asking me that question?
Yeah. I was kind of throwing that out there, as because you're a POA member as well. How do you feel about that?
For sure, and again, I would that particular website that you're referring to. It would be interesting to know, is that a property that is owned by someone locally, or is that
I don't
one
know.
of the out-of-state investors?
They have multiple properties, so I would say it would definitely be an investor type outlook on it. They have multiple properties all the way up into Missouri.
Okay, and there you go. You know that particular. Well, if they are an out-of-state investor, then they're still a POA member. Then they got to be a POA member to have when they have
be able to get guest cards for their guests.
Yeah, they pay their guest passes. They get is what they get.
And you go back to the townhome associations, Chris. The townhome associations, they have got their own guidelines. They have their own. Oh shoot, what's the word I'm looking for? Not covenants, but it's oh man, come on, guys.
Bylaws.
Bylaws. Here we go, Mark. Help me there. Bylaws. They have their own bylaws. They have their own bylaws that govern their group of townhomes. And how many different townhome associations are there in Bella Vista? I'm not sure right now. 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'd say at least. Yeah.
One of our online viewers says we need more police. Sally Bozer. She says we need more police. That's her input on this discussion, Jerry.
Well, and we do.
Yep.
But and again, there's that budget issue. I mean, we've got. You've only got so many dollars, and that's one of the problems that Bella Vista is going to have going forward, and that's something that we got to be very cautious about, and that is the things that we acquire or things that we do that are going to require a budget increase going forward. We may have those things now through this extra money. But those things, that extra money is going to run out at some point, and we're going to have to continue whatever we do now that is going to require a continuing maintenance budget or a continuing personnel budget, whatever. It's going to require the income, the funds to support it. But back to your on the Airbnbs, fire protection. If an Airbnb becomes licensed, well, first of all, when the licensing takes effect, and still at this particular point, but that makes them a commercial property, and that commercial property then is subject to a fire department inspection. And then the fire department then will have to inspect those for smoke alarms. I assume they're going to CO2 or the carbon dioxide alarms will also be included. But proper entrances and exits, a safety plan, how here a posted safety plan said, you got a fire, you got a fire alarm. Hey, how do you get out of here?
Yeah, every hotel I've ever been in, and most of the Airbnbs I've been in, were required to have those, that you know how to exit that condo and get out to a safe area and stuff.
And if it's a two-story facility, I mean, again, what is the exit route?
Right.
And in that regard, I mean, as far as the short-term rentals go, I have a good friend that's he's a chief deputy sheriff down in Mobile, Alabama, and he called me a few days ago, and their chaplain wants to come to Northwest Arkansas just to look around. And he called me and said, where would you recommend that he stay? And I said, well, let me do some checking and see what I can come up with. And I have a friend who has an Airbnb, and she has, I think, a very nice facility. It's on the lake. It's a part of their residence, but it has a separate entrance to the guest quarters. And again, a nice facility. So I call her, and she sends him a link to her property, and he books it immediately. He said, hey, that looks great. But there is, as I said, back to that original statement, we need them, and we don't want to be so restrictive that they can't operate.
Right.
But yet we got to enact some type of guideline to make sure that they are safe for the occupants that do stay there. I mean, that would be a total disaster to have a fire and a family lose their life because we had not done what we need to do.
Yeah, great points. I get you brought me into a segue here with the septic regulations and ordinances out there, and you made some valid points, because some of these, Chris, if you look up, and Jerry, look up online VRBO, some of them are showing 12 to 16 occupants.
What?
And yeah, I mean, some of them are in there doing that. And like Jerry said, one bedroom is a max 2 person per one bedroom. It's water usage is what it comes down to. And so I don't know. And Chris, you made a good point last week. Okay, so I call up and I say, hey, I want to book this place. I pay, and I guess they do a background check. I don't know. Then 10 of 12 other people show up and they have a party or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that's regulated. I mean, I imagine it's just one person that's paying for it or giving the credit card and their license, or I don't know the details behind it, but
I don't think I've ever had a background check for doing a VRBO. I mean, like, they ask you who you are, they ask you for your information. Some people require a driver's license, but do they actually do an in-depth background check? I mean, no. I wouldn't think they do. I would not think that they do that. So, like, I know where you're going, because I think I have discussed this with you before, Mark. Is when you move to a community, you have to, if you're a registered sex offender, you have to report that to the police department, right? What are the regulations for somebody doing a short-term rental? Like, I mean, because these are homes in residential areas. Somebody could rent that and potentially have access to, children in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
so
not only that,
that's a concern.
Yeah, there's excellent point. Yeah, and like I mentioned before, you got people coming in and out of the community, and some of them are in there for nefarious reasons, and people are living there full time, so that you understand. Like Jerry said, you don't want to chase these people away because they're bringing revenue in the community. But the flip side of it is, the people that live next to these Airbnbs are, they live there full time with their family, and some of them are retired there, or some of them have young families, and people coming in and out of there, and you don't have any neighbors, So it's a double-edged sword with that. So the septic regulations, Jerry, with new builds, can you get into a little bit of that, or is that more kind of as far as what they're requiring now for size of tank for a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom? I know where we left off. I think the 3-bedroom was 1,000, right, for new builds, or no? Is it 1,000 for each bedroom? It goes up 250.
Mark, I can't, I'm sorry,
You're not sure? Okay. No.
the technicalities of the size of the tank, et cetera, I cannot.
Okay. No, I appreciate your honesty there. Really do.
But, but I can give you a little background though as to how that all came about, and that was, I assume we have some builders and maybe, I don't know, some real estate agents that were not being maybe totally ethical in the sale of the property. You would have a house it had a septic system. A new house that was built, it had a septic system. It had a 2-bedroom house, and you had a bonus room.
Right.
I think bonus room was a big thing. You had a bonus room that was for an office or workout or a den or whatever, and then you had 2 bedrooms and a 2-bedroom septic system. Well, it got, I think, to be a common practice where maybe builders and maybe even some agents, real estate agents, were then listing that house as being a 3-bedroom house because you had 2 bedrooms in that bonus room.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I agree. I've seen it happen. Yeah.
That was what was happening, and that was brought about this new legislation that requires that if you got a 2-bedroom house, you got a 2-bedroom septic system, then you list that house as having 3 bedrooms. Now, then you're in violation of this ordinance.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there are some more provisions to it that I can't discuss it. It's not that I won't discuss. I just not.
No, like I said, I appreciate your honesty
and knowledge about it. And then I mentioned another piece of legislation that I'm working on now that I'm going to be authoring, and that pertains to existing septic systems.
Okay.
It's been stated by a number of people that we're sitting on a ticking time bomb,
literally,
in relation to our septic systems.
Yeah.
Because prior to 1985, the septic tanks were the metal tanks.
Yeah.
And after 1985, they were required to be concrete. Well, we all know what has happened to those septic tanks that were installed prior to 1985.
Yeah. Rusted out.
Yeah, collapsed, rusted out.
Yeah.
We have so what's happening? It's a public health issue, because who knows at this particular point where that waste is going to? I mean, it's going into the ground system. It's going into the groundwater. Is it going into the lakes? I can't say that, but where does the ground water go to around here? I mean, that's generally where it goes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know the lakes are tested, and I don't know exactly what all the testing requires or what the results are, but that is going to be the next part. Is that when a house is sold, then it will require a septic system inspection. Now then, as if it will be one of information, or will it be one of information? Hey, you know that there's a possibility this septic system is not good, or that it's been inspected. And again, Mark, how many times have we seen you have an older home, a 2-bedroom home's got a 2-bedroom septic system. There's been an addition added to the property, to the house, and now you've got a 4-bedroom house, and that addition has been built over the septic tank.
Gosh. Yeah.
And over the leach field.
I mean, it's crazy, Chris, this stuff.
Yeah, so therefore, what do you got? So again, it's going to be, I don't know that we can go so far to say in this new legislation that if the septic system doesn't pass inspection, you've got to install a new system. I don't know. Is that going to be going too far? I don't know. We're going to have to probably have some public hearings, more input
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, we have an ACC for this reason, right? Prior to becoming a city, I mean, like, and they've allowed people to add these additions on, and without upgrading the septic to support the capacity of a 3-bedroom.
Hey, Chris, the ACC, that's an entirely different.
Yeah, I guess they're just focused on white fences. I don't know.
Yeah, that's going to require more than one podcast, I assure you.
Yeah, I know, Jerry. I just had to, I had to toss that zinger out there towards that direction, because they should have been making sure that this didn't happen, right?
But that's some of from a real estate sales standpoint, Mark. That's some of the things that we got to deal with.
Yeah.
We have to look at for as far as the public safety and health of the people. And as far as future sales, I mean, future residential purchases, which we hope that going forward, the new ones they're going to be good, but the old ones, I don't know. I'm interested to hear what you got to say about it.
Yeah, you make some great points, and totally agree with the people that look at the house and wonder, well, why can't it be turned over to sewer? Well, it's not that easy, and it's cost prohibitive to be trying to run sewer lines in the hill towns here in Bella Vista to do that. So the regulations, I mean, it really, you get these old homes in 70s and 80s that could have 750-gallon tank, with 3 or 4 additions on there. I mean, we really can't do much with that right now. I mean, it's going to have to be done on a case by case basis, but moving forward with new builds, we definitely got to button all that up.
And as I said, I don't know. I mean, from an opinion from you as being in that business is telling you have a house for sale, and that system is inspected and it's determined that the tank is collapsed and the system is not operating properly, or it's a 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom house, and there's only a 2-bedroom system there that has now collapsed.
Right.
Is that going to be excessive to require that homeowner to put in a new septic system before they can sell that home? Or is it going to be simply making that new homeowner or the prospective purchaser aware that this is the issue, and if you buy it, this is what you're going to have to potentially be facing?
So those are valid points. Most people, depending on which side, if I'm on the listing side or the buying side, I have those conversations with my clients. We do inspections, and we make sure that that's fully functional, the lateral lines and the tanks pumped. We have houses. I just had a house recently. It had 4 bedrooms, but it wasn't a legitimate 4-bedroom house. It was a 3-bedroom. The 4th was a bonus room, like you had said before, no closet. So that's what's going to be listed as a 3-bed, 3-bath, not a 4-bedroom. So those are conversations you have with people, and they're like, well, there's an extra bedroom. And you have to explain to them, hey, this is, what it is. It's regulated. So I'm upfront and honest with them and tell them the way it is. It's hard for them to understand, but you explain to them it's a 3-bed, 3-bath, 1,000-gallon tank. The discussion, hey, I want to add another bedroom. Well, guess what? You got to go add another 250-gallon tank and add more lateral lines. Now you're getting into a situation where you got it with a lateral line septic company and the layout. And I mean, there's a lot more that's involved with that. And you're right. If they fail, I mean, I don't have a dollar amount on it. I would bet across the board it'd be at least 10 to 15,000, maybe $20,000.
Yeah, because they're going to have to excavate and remove all that soil and everything else and backfill it and all that, and it starts getting expensive.
Yeah,
I just talked to. I've got a good friend that's in the real estate business, and I hope now, Mark, you and I are good friends. But even though we've never met in person, but by golly, if we do, hey, I'll give you a big hug, and no kisses, big hug.
I appreciate that.
I got good friends in the real estate business, and he buys homes and rebuilds them, remodels them. But he bought a house that was burnt out, and foundation and everything is still there. but they go to check in the septic system and the septic system has failed. So now then he's got to move that septic system from the back of the house to the front property of the house. And it's got to be some type of a special septic system, but it's going to cost him like 30 grand to replace that septic system.
Yeah, they have a green system where they actually can run lines out where the effluent comes up. It can feed, trees or shrubs or what have you. And that's what it is. It's costly. You have to run it around. I don't know all the details, but I forgot what they call them. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Because once it fails in the lateral lines, you can't go and rip it up and lay the lines out there again. I mean, it is what it is. So
yeah, it's like it's actually like kind of providing fertilizer for your plants and stuff.
Yeah, it just runs lines and distributes the effluent out, and where they run the lines on it. I forgot what they call it, but it's expensive. It's like $30,000 to do something like that, unless you have another lot where you can run a septic and lateral lines, but it has to run in the contour of the lines to be able to lay it and get approved and have the perk test done or soil morphology test to get done to make sure that they can do that. In a lot of cases, if the water level is not right and they can't get approval, then they can't lay it down. So like Jerry said, that's your only option, these green systems. And I'll be honest with you, they're very expensive and there is a lot of upkeep to them too.
Well, there's a lot of challenges with a lot of the lots that are coming up for sale too. A lot of these lots, somebody will say it's buildable, but I mean, you got some challenges with the landscape on some of these lots that people are buying now. They'll buy it kind of sight unseen because it's a good deal, but then they realize the amount of backfill that's got to be in or the amount of supporting wall that's got to be put in. Then you have no backyard because it's down a ravine, right?
Right.
Where are you going to put the septic? Off to the side? Can you still get somebody to get in there to pump that septic? I mean, there's a lot of challenges.
Well, yeah, and that stuff, and a lot of people don't think about that. They're excited to buy a property, and you explain to them the process that goes along with surveying and doing the soil morphology test. There's a lot of moving pieces, and I most of the time when people come, I explain to them the process, and if they want to make an offer on a property, it's in regards of a good perk test to be done, then you just have to explain the whole thing. But there's more of it than the real estate side. You got the surveyor, and you got the the lateral layout people, and you got the architect with his the layout in the house. How's it going to fit on that property? You have the setbacks. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces that a lot of people are involved in. So it's challenging. There's no doubt about that.
Well, we are getting to the top of the hour. I know, Jerry, you had mentioned, I guess, the amount of participation from the residents, actually showing up and city council meetings and providing input. And it seems like everybody was a little surprised at that last community input session and the turnout. Is there anything that you could basically say? What would be your preference for more people to start engaging with city council members, providing input around all the issues? I mean, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, we see so many people, Chris, that go to Facebook and complain. They voice very strongly, very very profoundly express their dissatisfaction with whatever it might be in the city or that's happening. And it's unfortunate. It seems that after all of these years that so many people still don't know the difference between the city, the POA, and the ACC.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they absolutely don't have a clue, and you'll see them complaining about something that is POA related, and they want to blame the city for it. And I saw a person on the Facebook a few days ago complaining about the town center, the Cooper tearing down town center. And they were complaining about why they couldn't understand why the city was not stopping that. Why didn't the city stop them from tearing it down?
Because it's their property.
Sure, you're going to out there and stop the excavators, you know.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's your property. You're allowed to develop it the way that you want to, as long as it's within code.
And that's right. And speaking in that regard too, Mark, I mean, obviously we are growing faster than our infrastructure can keep up with it. I mean, I went with a builder to look at a location where he had built a couple of $600,000 homes. And who would have thought? How long you been in the real estate business, Mark?
Almost 2 years. Just just under 2
How
years.
about 2 years ago, would you have thought there'd been a $600,000 home sold in Bella Vista in any place other than the lake?
No, crazy. Jerry, I've been here about 5 years, and within 5 years, I told Chris, I just can't believe it's crazy. In 5 years, the growth, it's just unbelievable. And it doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon, you know?
I mean, no, and it doesn't. And, you know, people that I saw a picture the other day on Facebook of a billboard in Seattle in selling the good life in Northwest Arkansas.
Wow.
And I was told there was another one.
Somebody need to take that down.
Yeah, exactly. Man, we don't need the politics that they have up in Washington State and Oregon. We don't need politics down here. But I went with this builder to look because he was concerned about getting his street, blacktop down. But in this particular area, a street that I had never been on before, there was cul-de-sacs, a variety of short cul-de-sacs there, because on the other side of that cul-de-sac was a very deep ravine. So these were just short streets down to the cul-de-sacs. He had 2 homes on this cul-de-sac, but I guarantee you on these short cul-de-sacs off of this street, there were at least 10 new homes being built up there.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they're popping up left and right. It's amazing.
We can't. The city of Bella Vista does not have the revenue to pave all of the streets that need to be paved in order to keep up with the new homes being built. I mean, it's impossible. We can't do it. You see, it costs us $2.5, $3, $4 million. We've had to add $4 million to the budget to take care of surfacing 59 miles. And so, I mean, and we got 600 miles of streets in Bella Vista.
Hey, I'm just happy. I'm happy they came and did my street. Our street was falling apart, and we were wondering if we were going to get paved. And they're like, "Oh yeah, you're on the list." And it took them an additional year to come out and do it. But the road crew did a really great job. They did it fast and efficiently, and it's so much better turning onto the street. So
the streets in Bella Vista are on. There was a consulting group that Mayor Christie had got this consulting group that I think they're associated somewhat with the university that come in and did a survey of all the streets, and they graded all the streets. I mean, and I say graded not as in a road grader, but as in a system grade, all the streets, and they graded them from 1, 2, 3, and 4, I believe, but the 4 being the worst and the 1 being the best. So what the city is trying to follow is that street grade, so that we get we pave those that are at the most critical. We try to pave.
Well, you triage them, right? You triage them, and you take care of the ones that need it. That are worse first.
Yeah, we try to take care of them, get them a new surface on them before they totally collapse, before they just totally become impassable. We try to get them. And of course, those that are the best, they're the last on the list. And like what I think it's Houston is maybe on the list sometime. I mean, they had to move some streets around to get Dartmoor, because that last ice.
Oh yeah, the graders tore that one up bad.
They tore that one up, and so they had to move some streets that were previously on the list off to get that one, because that's a very highly traveled street.
Yeah, the
Well, Jerry,
Dartmoor was very bad. It was, I mean, like I was riding a motorcycle and I almost got swallowed by a pothole. I mean, I was like, what is this? So I try to drive the car down some of these roads before I even take the bike out in the springtime, man, just to make sure.
yeah, very true. Hey, Jerry, man, this was awesome. We're so appreciative of you coming on tonight and answering all our questions. And I think a lot of people learned a lot tonight, including myself. And a lot of people don't want to take the time to do these things. And I think we're very appreciative. And I know, Chris, on your thoughts,
Yeah.
were you, so
Well,
we're
I mean,
excited.
I'm fortunate to have talked with Jerry several times in my, living here in Bella Vista, and I approached him and I gave him a link to our podcast, and we're fortunate to have him, supporting what we're trying to do, and that's create educated people in the community and bring some of these issues up. And Jerry, I'd love to have you back on as for regular updates if possible.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, Chris, like I told you, hey, if you don't want to talk about something, don't ask me. Like my wife said, I'm gonna ask me a question. I'm gonna have to tell you a story to go with it. But anyway, I'm glad. Hey, I appreciate the opportunity, and I just hope that whatever I've done under viewer base, and that there'll be more, so that you can, that people will maybe use this as an avenue of getting information.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Because
I hope more people get involved with the community too, Jerry. I mean, I hope a lot more people watching this and get engaged, and we're going to need everybody getting involved to make, like you said, you can sit there on Facebook all day and complain about stuff, or you can, get involved with the community and get to these council meetings and put some input, positive impact, and everybody works together. You can get things done.
Yeah.
Mark, I guess my statement or my question: are the people in Bella Vista so um, are they so happy? Are they so enjoy the lifestyle and everything that we have here that they just and maybe it's so much better than what they come from or what they've been used to? Are they just so enjoying what their surroundings that they're not concerned about what maybe be going on or what may be happening? I don't know. Is that part of it?
You know what? Me and Chris had that discussion, and I think people are just so busy and wrapped up with their lives, running a 24/7 lifestyle. But you got to make
Yeah.
time for that kind of stuff. And the younger generation, we really need them moving forward. I mean, they have to get involved and what have you. And you're right. I think the turnout and even those survey results there for the input for the POA, if you look at the demographics on some of those surveys, they're 35 and under. It was a small amount, which is scary. Um, I don't have the answer for you on that. I hope people watch tonight and get involved, and if they want stuff to get done and want to see things, then they have to put that input in and do that. I don't know what your thoughts, Chris. What do you think of that?
I mean, this is not the world our parents grew up in, right? I mean, it's a fast-paced world, and it's requiring everybody to, pull together just to run a household, let alone a city. So you think about it from your household perspective, right? The mom, the dad, they're both working. They're both putting in the effort to try to make that household run smoothly. Same concept for a city, right? It's just it's a bigger household, but everybody does need to get involved and start, holding one another accountable, and voicing their opinions and giving information to our elected leaders so that our elected leaders can make true decisions that represent the community and not special interest groups that want to show up and do, they want their little pet project to get passed and nobody knows about it.
Well, guys, let me say this: if this podcast will make an impact on what people, uh, their involvement, what they see, what they understand about what's happening, if this podcast will contribute to the information that gets out into the city, to the community, count on me. I'll be back anytime you want me. You just call and tell me we got some questions, or we just want to, hear you tell a story, whatever the case might be. You let me know. I'll be here.
Yep.
Oh, I appreciate that. That's awesome.
All right, Jerry. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I know we kept you a little longer, but this has been I thought this was a really good interview with you, and I've learned a few things, and I've always enjoyed talking with you, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry, thanks again. We appreciate you.
Likewise. And Mark, next time I see you now, remember, a hug maybe, a hug maybe, but hey, don't kiss on the cheek.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right. Have a great night. We'll be right back, people. right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I'm sorry that break took a little bit longer than expected, but we are doing this live. We do have to confirm a few notes and stuff like that, and obviously we have to ensure that we're evacuating our facilities every now and then too, because it is live. So
yeah. Hey, great guest tonight. Jerry Snow just knocked it out of the ballpark. A lot of good information there. People have been talking about the septic regulations and short-term rentals. So that stuff is being worked on as we speak. The COVID relief funds was interesting, and the cost that's being put in. I like the idea of putting in infrastructure. We talked about the infrastructure before and the road paving, and we need it. I mean, we need that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I think it's cool that because I mean, a lot of cities, anybody who got this COVID relief fund, there was originally a lot of restrictions on what you were actually able to use that for. Right. And so, obviously people were like struggling to figure out what can we use this for. And then, so that kind of leads to wasteful spending, and when they changed, like, well, you can basically use it for other things. That made more sense, right? So, they're taking, again, our city council is taking a common sense approach, right? And they're not going and doing frivolous spending on, trailers for future vaccine clinics or whatever, right? They're putting it into they're reinvesting it into the community, which I think is a very brilliant idea. So I'm glad to see that.
Yeah, I mean, conservative control of money is coming to the city and well spent. I mean, it's not like the $90,000 copper statue.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going there. I had to go there, but you know what I'm saying? It's fiscal responsibility, and I'm all for that at the end of the day. So again, Jerry, we appreciate you and love to have you on again.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to get you back, and we got some more things going on in the community.
Okay.
So we have a Soul Night. Dee Dee Jones on March 19th, tomorrow from 9 to 11:30 p.m. She's in the Media Art Gallery. So go and check her out. Tickets are between $10 and $20. Also, for the kids out there, there's an Explore Archery Spring Break Camp. So called the Quiver Archery Range. 4th. It's campers from age 12 to 17. They'll learn about range safety, shooting form, equipment knowledge, shot execution, scoring. Looks like a pretty neat camp. I know we talked
deer
about
hunters.
yeah. We got to cull the herd, man.
Yeah. We do, man. That's future deer hunters in Bella Vista. If you guys make it out, get your kid a bow. And times are hard, yo. Times are hard. Deer taste good. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I love bow hunting, Chris. And I know last week you talked about that, having a bow range. And man, I know a couple people were talking about that, and that'd be cool if we could put that down towards the gun range. I mean, I'd go there all the time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a crossbow. I mean, I would love to have a place to go out and use it, though. You know what I'm saying? Like practice and all that. Versus like worrying about it going through my fence, into a biker's leg or something.
I got my neighbor down.
Safety first.
At the end of his, he's in a cul-de-sac, so he has the Excelsior bale there and sets up there. But
I might have to come over and meet your neighbor.
Yeah, he's out there quite a lot. When I'm walking the dogs, I'll see him. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So there's another kids spring break camp also, same time, March 21st to 25th, Kohler Creek spring break camp. So that's location is Kohler Mountain Bike Preserve. That was what I was, Kohler Park area where they set up the campsites and what have you. So that's going to be during the day, from 8 a.m. to 12. The age group is 8 to 12 in that range, $150. So it's kind of like a day thing.
That's not bad.
Parents can drop them off in the morning, pick them up at lunchtime. It's cool. I mean,
get some exercise out at Kohler and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Your favorite, hunting for morals. I should say morels. We need morals too.
Morals and morels.
We need hunting for
It's a workshop.
You could go for morels after you get some morels.
Well, we're teaching how to hunt for them, and actually the moral way to hunt for them, right?
So so these people, there's fanatics that do these morels.
It's that time of the year where you start seeing people all up in the woods, and you're like, "What are these people doing?" Right?
Yeah, man. These guys, guys and gals, they have their special spots, and it's a big thing.
They get territorial too, man.
and so the Ozark Natural Science Center is having a special session running from 4/1 to 4/3. Jay Pitts is running, and my understanding, Jay Pitts is like the guy to go to when you're moral hunting. So. He's got sessions running from 9 to 11 and 1 to 3. They're filling up like crazy. This moral workshop. So I check that.
I think it would probably be beneficial just to know what type of because there's another one. I think it's called is it called a deadhead or something like that? That looks like a moral, but as a kid, like they say, don't ever eat a mushroom, right? Don't ever eat a mushroom, right? And so being able to identify those. But I don't know if I would still even be willing. I would need somebody to independently verify that I didn't pick something that's going to kill me, right?
Yeah, and you got to be careful,
Yeah.
So, you know what? I don't know about you, but I go out in my garage, I see stuff all over the place, and what am I thinking to myself? I'm thinking we got the Bella Vista citywide garage sale. Time to start cleaning up. It's not until April 29th or 30th, but we're only about 5-6 weeks away. Good time to start putting that stuff aside and start cleaning up.
And it's citywide, right? You don't have to file for a permit or anything like that.
No, citywide garage sale.
You hear that? It beats Craigslist, man. If you're doing the Craigslist one, well, there's a nice comedian fella that said it best. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna throw it out there.
Put it on Craigslist and in the paper that you're having a garage sale, and a freak show will form on your lawn 2 hours before the garage sale is even scheduled to begin.
That's right. Yeah. So make sure you do the citywide one and don't stick it out on Craigslist, or you're gonna have people poking their head up under your garage door.
It's true though. You always got the early bird.
Oh, you didn't say there was no early birds.
You open that garage door, man, and they're right on you like white on rice, man.
Oh man.
They want the first.
You're like, can I help you? It says it starts at 10 o'clock. But you didn't say nothing about no early birds.
Yeah,
like they're offended.
Oh man, that was funny. I needed that, Chris. Hey, so I don't know if you've been watching the news. We did 2 years. We did 2 years of this COVID thing. Did you? I don't know if you noticed this. There's another strain in China. I don't want to know anything about it.
What else is coming around the corner, though? Oh yeah, midterms. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't know what this is all about. I just saw it come up in the news, and I can't do another year lockdown, man. No. I can't live like this.
No, that's the definition of insanity, right? And that's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Okay, it hasn't worked for 2 years. Somebody come up with a new playbook. Fire the coach. Fire fire whoever. But we can't continue going down this life of fear. This life of lockdown, this life of stopping our children from actually developing properly. I'm sick of it, man. I told you what, 2 weeks ago? I'm over it.
I felt like I lost 2 years of my life, like I was in some kind of wormhole or something, man, a black hole. And it's just, it was just crazy. I get to see, I didn't see a lot of it. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of family and friends, and it was totally an alienation, man.
This whole 2 years, man, like I said, nothing has really changed in my life other than, not being able to do some of the stuff that I would like to do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can't live your life in fear. I hope that, anybody watching this kind of can use some logic and reason in their head and say, man, they haven't gotten anything right for 2 years, right? Quit giving these people any credence, okay? They have totally the bed on all of this, and I mean, it, like I said, it takes a lifetime to build up credibility and only a quick moment to lose it. And in my personal humble opinion, they have no credibility anymore. Nothing that they have said has come to fruition, has been right, has been accurate. It's all been knee-jerk speculation, control tactics. I'm sick of it. Sorry. My 2 cents.
And it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, Chris. I mean, I think everybody's just frustrated, the misinformation. So, I mean,
there's so much information that we were told that what was false or fake or misinformation that's now actually being shown that it was actually accurate.
My only concern now is
silence people though.
Yeah, my only concern now is like the boy who cried wolf syndrome. You know what I mean? Something could really happen now, and people are just going to say, "Hey, man, we saw this movie before. We don't care."
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's the thing. Maybe that's an angle. I don't know. If you're into those conspiracy theories, and I mean, that's the thing that bothers me the most is people were wrongfully labeled conspiracy theorists, and wait 6 months. It came out. It was true, right?
Yeah.
What was it that doctor over in Washington County, was it Karras, I think, that was treating the Washington County inmates with ivermectin? Well, we might catch a ban for saying that word, but whatever. Ivermectin. He was treating them, right? And people were like demonizing this guy. And I think he actually caught a lawsuit. And then the city turns around and gives him an award for basically treating all them inmates and not losing a single patient at all. Right.
Yeah. So he is being sued, by the way.
But that's misinformation, right? Sorry for saving your life. Go ahead and sue me.
Yeah. So, geez. So rolling into that whole circus is Fauci. I haven't seen that guy. It's what was the guy from Alibaba? He disappeared in China for 2 months. You remember him?
Yeah.
Where's Fauci at?
I figured he just took his little troll ass under the bridge out in D.C. or something. I don't know.
Did he go to the same camp as what was his name from Alabama? Man?
I heard he was. I heard he was working on a music CD actually.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Yeah, it was. I think a CD.
These nuts.
Sorry, I got to do it.
You gotta go.
I gotta go there.
All right, man. Hopefully he'll surface and everything's okay with him.
Happened
to him, but again, hey, we're back to the gas prices, man. Still holding at $3.89 steady. What's the over under 5 going in the Memorial Day or what? What do you think?
Well, we're going into spring break. Basically officially spring break kicked off today, right? I mean, everybody's off school next week. Everybody's going to be doing their spring break trips. So I think this weekend the gas prices are going to go up. And so in all seriousness, I think the title of this podcast is actually Spring Broke with a 100% chance of snow, because we did have a 100% chance of Jerry Snow being on here, right?
Yeah.
But I think we're moving into spring broke,
Right.
Heaven help you if you have a big old RV that runs off diesel.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, hey.
And you're taking it on spring break. Right? Like I said, you may see me out there panhandling, man.
What's that going to set you back, Chris?
I don't even know. I don't even want to think about it, man. I know at the current, so 100 gallons times whatever the current rate of diesel is right now. Figure that one out. It's probably $500. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. So before we get into this forced gun legislation or hidden gun legislation, I want to bounce something off you, because I know we both enjoy having a few beers here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, American Airlines is bringing back alcohol on airlines. And I didn't know what your thoughts were with that. And 250 mile per hour trips or more. So I guess if you can get access in all the terminals, Chris, I mean, there's restaurants there, there's brew pubs, there's all kinds of stuff. I think it's
going to make for some interesting TikTok videos, man.
Yeah.
Karen's going to be making a comeback.
Yeah, there's a lot of angry people that have been shut down.
Are they still doing the mask thing on the airplanes too?
I don't know. I haven't been on an airplane for over 2 years, Chris.
Me neither. I imagine being boozed up from the terminal, and then you get the one that sets you over on the airplane.
Yeah.
And then Ken doesn't put his mask. He's got his mask under his nose. I mean, like, can you imagine? Like, we've seen a lot of crazy stuff happen over the last 2 years in airplanes. Do you think this is wise? Do you?
No, I don't. I don't. I think I don't know what to think anymore, man. I just you just want to live in your own world. You know what I mean? It's just. I
I
mean,
hear
if I
that
can avoid, if I
private
can avoid
charter
a plane,
jets are actually pretty efficient and not bad priced if you go with a group. Maybe that's the route to go.
what was that? I didn't hear
Private
you.
charter jets.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I think
yeah.
there's a couple of jet sharing services out there.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer that. Oh, I mean, I have no problem driving. I mean, I really actually enjoy driving. It does. I mean, as long as I'm not in the inner cities dealing with idiot drivers, right? For the most part, interstate driving does not bother. I mean, I can kick on some music, set the cruise control.
Yeah, and you can
know.
avoid a lot of those delays that
Yeah.
airports have, and getting there early in the morning and
Well, it
waiting.
took me
for,
20 hours to go to Chicago one time during an ice storm, Mark. I was like, I
Yeah.
could have drove it in 10.
Yeah,
You know,
I know.
and then had
I
a
know.
vehicle while I was there, you know. So
Spent a lot of time going through Chicago. Yeah, for sure.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So,
So, man, this is probably going to just. I mean, this whole forced legislation that happened on March 16th. Did you see this?
you said forced legislation? I don't know. Is it it might be allegedly forced, right? Nobody forced anybody this on anybody, right?
So at 1:30 a.m. Wednesday, March 16th,
30.
the House
the
of
government open at
Representatives.
1:30?
1:30 a.m., Chris.
Are they open at 1:30 in the morning?
They're open to push legislation through while we're sleeping. Yeah, for sure. So on Wednesday at 1:30 a.m., you're going to love this. The House of Representatives dropped a 2,700 page spending bill, $1.5 trillion. Didn't hear anything about it. The spending bill containing the Violence Against Women's Act Reauthorization Act, so VAWA is the acronym for it.
VAWA?
Yeah, and the NICS Denial Notification Act, both of which included gun control. The GOA analyzed the bill and got 2 action alerts out of the grassroots, but congressional leaders have already struck the anti-gun deal. By
What?
Wednesday, listen to this.
Wait,
Go ahead.
You said, okay, back up. 1:30 in the morning, somebody drops a 2,700 page bill.
You can't read that in 5 minutes, Chris, to go over it and sign off on it. Apparently, these guys did that. You know
I couldn't
what?
wipe my ass with 2,700 pages in 5 minutes, let alone 24 hours.
Here's the average person. I just looked at this. The average person reads a page in 2 minutes, and to be able to comprehend it, right? 2,700 pages. Okay, that's 5,400 minutes. You're looking at, if you were going to read 24 hours straight, it'd take you 3 3/4 days to finish reading this, and to be able to bring it, acknowledge that you did read it. Whether you can understand it is a different story. But
we got a comment from Sally again. Thank you, Chris, Mark, and Jerry. You're most welcome, Sally.
Oh, thank you. What a sweetheart.
Thanks for sticking it out with us.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, this is craziness. This is the stuff we're talking about. In the dead of night, we're pushing through legislation. What's even more troubling to me is, I'm going to keep on going with this because this is really going to set you off. Okay. So by Wednesday night, gun control had passed the House of Representatives with the support of Democrats and 39 GOP representatives. So both sides of the aisle are in on this. Okay.
That goes back to that uniparty stuff, right? Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then they roll it. You know where it's going. It's going to the Senate. By Thursday night, gun control passed the Senate with the support of all Democratic senators present and 18 Republicans. Okay. Sadly, the bill could have been stopped entirely had Republicans opposed the bill in unison because anti-gunners were short a senator.
Do you have like a list of the 18 Republicans?
I do.
Do you?
These kind of blew me away. Here's a perfect example. I'm an independent, Chris. I think, aren't you an independent too? I want people just to do their damn job. That's what I
would consider myself more of I'm an independent. I mean, like I don't toe either party line, right? Because at the end of the day, the parties is the party, but you obviously can see like there's a uniparty, right?
Right. So here's the 18 Republicans: Barrasso out of Wyoming, Blunt out of Missouri, Capito out of West Virginia, Collins out of Maine, John Cornyn out of Texas.
Texas, a Republican out of Texas signed a gun legislation bill. Oh
what
my
I'm saying,
gosh!
I don't think these guys are even reading or I don't know what they're doing. I mean, Lindsey Graham.
Oh, Lindsey.
Grassley out of
He's
Iowa.
such a tough fella, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, Lindsey.
Hyde Smith out of Mississippi. McConnell. There's McConnell, Kentucky.
Oh, Mitch.
Moran,
Mitch.
Kansas. Murkowski, Alaska. Portman from Ohio. Shelby out of Alabama. John Thune out of South Dakota. He rolls in.
Jeez.
Tuberville out of Alabama. Wicker out of Mississippi. And Young out of Indiana.
Well, I'm pretty sure the Democrats are thanking these Republican senators who voted, for, anti-gun bills. I'm sure the only thing they got to say to them is, "Welcome to the party, pal." These guys all should just be censured, dude, for real. But you're not a Republican if you're voting for this. You're not.
Chris, my question is, did they even read it?
No, they didn't.
That's what's troubling.
There's no way anybody, like I said, I couldn't even wipe my butt with 2,700 pages in 24 hours, let alone read and comprehend. That's just so unrealistic.
Man. I mean, but this is the kind of stuff that's happening out here.
It's not a representative government, man.
And we need to get people more involved. The local, the state, the federal level. Enough's enough, man. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well, it's accountability. It boils down to accountability, man. First off, any bill that hasn't been courting the representatives for at least 45 days should not be passed, period.
Well, they put it under the guise of violence against women.
Oh, well, I think we can all agree that nobody wants to see women hurt, right?
Absolutely not.
But
look at what
2,700 pages, dude. These, come on. It's people 2022. We know these people are sneaky, slimy, tricky, whatever you want to call them, right? So to slip in some stuff like this, first off, so I believe there's something on the I believe it's in the there's some case law or a Supreme Court justice at some time basically stated that any law that is repugnant of the Constitution is null and void, right? I would say that this might actually roll in there if this is actually true gun control measures, because, I mean, obviously shall not be infringed means what?
Yeah,
it's pretty straightforward,
simple.
Right?
Yeah.
But then, also... man,
wait till you hear this, Chris.
Gosh,
these sections. Now I'm going to get into more detail what this is about because our senators and our congressmen aren't doing it. I'll do it for you. Section 101 and 102. Listen to this very carefully. Grant funding programs to train police to execute red flag gun confiscation orders.
So now wait. I think somebody else did that, Mark, right? Oh, I'm trying to remember what country that was where they sent out these people called Gestapo. What was that again? I don't know. Somewhere in history somewhere I read. Maybe it was a comic book. I don't know.
So Section 801, an expansion of the Lautenberg misdemeanor gun ban. Section 802, funding to turn state-level stalking laws into red flag.
Is there any detail on the misdemeanor gun ban? Like if you anybody who had a misdemeanor just can't have a gun now?
This is what scares me, though. This is the kind of stuff that funding to turn state-level stalking laws into red flag gun confiscation. Who decides who's making the decision to take guns away, the weapons away? I mean,
well, all I got to say is there's going to be a lot of people who stalk me on Facebook that are going to lose their guns. Okay, I'm just saying, No, so if you're a threat to somebody, obviously, but we have laws to protect people, right? Like we have like no contact orders, and what's the other one? Protection orders, right?
Yeah,
order of protection and stuff like that. So if somebody's stalking you, first off, you get an order of protection, all right. And if they're stalking you, then make the police actually enforce that. But let that person have due process before, be convicted of something before they lose their gun rights, right? That's common sense,
right?
Because there's so many. I don't know, Mark. Would you say that there's a lot of people who make false police reports out of malice? I don't know.
I'm just blown away by this. I just can't. Sections 1101 and 1102 to launch criminal investigations into firearms transfer background check denials, even though 9 out of 10 times the system falsely denies a law-abiding citizen. Okay, 9 out of 10. Section 1103, funding for ATF, ATF to deputize local police. Okay, the ATF is going to come and deputize local police, any local police, to enforce federal gun laws, especially to undermine Second Amendment protection acts in states. So basically, you're right. They're going to supersede that.
Yeah, they're going to basically supersede any state that's enacted a law saying that any laws that violate the Constitution. Well, we're going to deputize. I mean, do we have enough people on the police force that are like down with coming and disarming law-abiding citizens because somebody said so, with no due process?
Yeah, I mean, how does that work? I mean, they just show up. The ATF shows up in Bella Vista here, and hey, we got to.
Well, obviously, you guys are really concerned about this gun law, so we're going to just have to come out and get your guns, y'all.
Right. I mean, how does that? So there's no due process, Chris. They come in.
Another way it's another way to weaponize the system against political opponents, man. Really, is.
You know what? And I spoke my piece, but the bottom line is it's a disgrace. I bet you half of those congressmen and senators didn't even read it and didn't even go over it. They just signed off of it and looked the other way.
I want to thank them all for giving us a short list of people that need to be primaried. I mean, it is an election year, Yeah. So I mean, like,
all these guys.
Thank you for showing your true colors.
Right.
Where's Cyndi Lauper when we need her, man? I see your true colors.
But you look at some of these guys, and it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. I mean, it's just it's ridiculous.
All right, it's incompetence,
and you can be anti-gun, but it's a slippery slope here, man. Next time, what are you going to do next? What's next besides guns?
To pass a $2,700 bill, Mark. To pass it, I'm not dollar. 2,700 page bill in less than 48 hours, all the way through the House and the Senate.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night. It's not even 48 hours.
Because nobody's going to pay attention to it. We know what they did.
Well, we're all focused on Ukraine right now, right?
Right. It's an absolute disgrace. And
it is.
I want people to know about it, and you can read up on it more. And I was just appalled. I couldn't believe it. So
take that short list. Thank you very much for that short list. We need to definitely make sure that's available.
And your congressman, and ask them these questions. Ask them why they did that. Why are these people doing this?
Somewhere somebody's going to actually paint us in a light that we're advocating for violence towards women because we oppose the violence against women.
Absolutely not.
It's not even about it. It's like,
I
mean, men are abused too by guns. Okay, this is about basically due process, right?
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, if there was a button that we could push that would just get rid of all of our weapons in the world, push that button, right?
Right.
I would be the first one to say, do it. If we could all be kumbaya and stuff, and
I'd be with you too, Chris.
I mean, because we do have a lot of problems in this world, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, look at what's going on in Australia. Right, They disarmed those people, and then they went straight up total totalitarian over there.
Right.
Like you can't even travel outside of your district.
There was people outside after sunset, and they were beating them down in the street.
Yeah. That's
we laugh about it.
Coming to a county near you, right?
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, but man, it's just there's going to be more on that. I'm sure there's going to be more. But hey, what a great show tonight, Jerry Snow. It's good stuff. You
got my blood pressure up, bud.
Okay.
We're gonna have to tighten this one down with something light. I don't know, man. Yeah. 2,700 pages in less than 24. Really, it's less than 24 hours, man. You had the sleep break in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I do need to take a flight on American Airlines and get plastered, man. 250 miles, man. Dude, I think I read something, man. The airlines are now hiking up prices due to the fuel cost too. So
I'm sure.
Here you go. Bam! Right, another hit. Wait. It gets better. I think was it in Iowa? I read a news article earlier. They're basically having to cull like a huge herd. Well, it's not a herd, like a flock. I guess it would be a flock. Chickens, right? Flock. Yeah. They're basically having to like kill them due to concerns about a new strain of avian flu.
Okay.
Right. Oh, what a time, right? I mean, it's like the cornucopia of everything bad just
Yeah,
happening.
the world's
right?
ending.
You know?
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's why. That's why I pray to the Lord.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm right with
Yeah.
Him. And
Some craziness
brother,
going on in
I
this
just
world, man. You
what a
know?
time to be alive, though, right? I mean, like it's an interesting time.
I always wonder, looking back 100 years, what people will think about this time. You know, it's just crazy. It's just
Well,
I
if we
hope.
keep on continuing down the same path, they really won't be thinking. So, like, I mean, that's the truth,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, like, to
Yep.
come and take somebody's guns, bro. Like, I mean, like, with no due process. That bothers me, man. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what that led. If you read it,
That's
if you read
special.
How you gonna take one of my guns? Come on, Billy Jackoff.
the,
Take my gun from me.
Yeah, take okay.
but that's it. You know what? It's like I said. It can lead to more things. You know,
Yeah.
down the road. It's just it's
Was
crazy.
it Virginia that passed the first? Was they the first state to pass the red flag gun laws? And they went.
You know
like
what?
5:00 in the morning. They went to this veteran's house to take his guns, and he ended up getting shot. You know, I think I'm pretty like 95 or better sure that he basically was killed because somebody came to his house 5:00 in the morning, knocked in his door.
Yeah,
he's like, "Not today." Bang, 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 right? And I mean, like that, those situations. But we talk about police violence. You know, we talk about police violence,
right?
But now we're advocating for police to just enter people's homes and disarm them when they've done nothing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you heard what I said. The ATFs will come in and they'll deputize them to do that. So it's not being initiated from a local level. It's a federal level. So, man, it's just good. It's food for thought. I'm sure we're going to have more discussion down the road, and I'm sure other people listening to this would need to dig into it a little bit more because this is the kind of stuff that's going on out there. They're pushing legislation through without anybody seeing it in hopes that nobody notices anything, and and they're representing us, Chris. You know,
it's what they're not representing us. This is non-representative government at this point, man, because you can't read. You can't just say, look, we're not voting on anything until there's ample time. Like, I mean, I don't know if I had a dream or if I just had like an epiphany one day, but I was like, why do they have to put 500-600 things into 2,700 page bills, right? Why can't you just have a line item on the docket, and it's a simple one line item? Why does it need to be bundled in a bill? I mean, are we not smart enough to have something on a big board in the Hall of Congress, in the Hall of the Senate, saying we want this? Here's the literature on it. One item, 15 pages max.
right? Yeah, outlaw the pork. Outlaw all the pork on these.
Right.
That's what has to go. It has to go. It's not, hey, pass it and see what's in it. Like, you know what I mean?
Sorry, I'm probably not woke enough, man. I'm probably not.
But you know what I'm saying.
Everything
I mean, it's
woke turns to shit. Okay.
Yeah, I think you said it best too, man. So I'm just saying. Look, I know somebody's probably not laughing about that, but I know somebody who is.
I'm laughing too.
I bet you are, buddy.
Well, that's that's
the end of the show, I think, right?
Yeah.
We probably we did go a little long tonight, but it was worth it talking with Jerry for that long. It really was.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think we hit on some good topics, and people are interested in, and I look forward to next week, and appreciate everybody tuning in, and have a great weekend.
Yeah. Remember to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Help us grow. We'll help you out, I think we ought to probably try to do like I've got an idea about a giveaway. If we can hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, we can do a giveaway.
All right. Well,
nice little. I got something in mind. Nice little giveaway. Okay. We just need to get people to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and might get a little something. We'll do a drawing.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Everybody, I hope you have a safe and happy spring break. And be safe out there. Take care of yourself. You ever need anything, you know how to find us in the comments. You got something to tell us? You want us to investigate something, look into something, talk to somebody? Let us
We're
know.
here.
Till then, we'll see you next week.
All right. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.